Hello, it's Doris with All the Books, and I want to do a quick wrap up, and I apologize in advance. It's going to be very brief and possibly fragmented because I'm very excited right now. I have 3 hours till I bust out of quarantine. And then I have a 50-minute taxi ride back to the airport where I wait for my 8:40 flight to Shenzhen, which is a 2.5-hour flight. And then I gotta find the school driver outside of domestic arrivals, right in front of the KFC. Yes, you heard that right, the KFC. I think that's funny. And then I have another hour-and-a-half drive to get to my beach town. So yeah, and my reading life and booktube life will possibly continue to be fragmented, disjointed for the next month or so, because I'm starting a new life in a new town, new relationship. I mean, it's a year and a half in, but virtual. So this is in real life, and a new job for the first time in 21 years. So all very exciting and time consuming. But anyway, to the books. So I finished The Heart Principle by Helen Huang on the plane 10 days ago. I've been in a hotel room for 16 days now, y'all. Yeah, I'm ready to return to normalcy. The new normal. I'm ready for it. Anyway, yes. So Helen Huang, her first 2 books I greatly enjoyed. They were The Kiss Quotient and The Bride Test. And this one was good. So she focuses on, there's always at least one character in the relationship on the autism spectrum, and by this point there were also side characters because it's a trilogy that were also on the autism spectrum. And so her research, and she the author was also diagnosed on the autism spectrum as an adult, so I think she probably connects with the main character in this book, who also was diagnosed as an adult. So like I said, I enjoyed this, but I think the main problem is that it's a romance. And while I appreciated the research and the further enlightenment on autism, especially in adults, this one was quite serious for the bulk, if not all, of the book. And that's not really what I go for in a romance. So positives and negatives with this one, just from my personal reading taste. So our main character is a concert violinist and quite successful, and she loses a relationship with a jerk. No loss there, honestly. And then spur of the moment, trying to find a one-night stand, encounters a guy who has had testicular cancer. So you can see where this novel would have a lot of serious issues going on. And again, I thought she dealt with those issues well, but it's just not what I'm looking for in a romance, if that makes sense. So there was that. And then I have read Thin Places, A Natural History of Healing and Home by Carrie Nee Doherty. So this is the book Naturalist pick for July, the month we are currently in. So go me for finishing it in the right month for once. This one, the first third of the book was just absolutely stunning for me. I thought this was going to be a 5-star read. I think it settled back into the 4-star range, just because the second half was a little bit repetitive. And I think deservedly so. I think the author was working through her grief and depression and suicidal thoughts, and it was a battle that she fought for years. So much respect to her for that, and that does take time. So really respected the way she handled the material. Just as a reader, it felt repetitive in places. So this is set during the Troubles in Ireland, during the, I guess, 70s and 80s. The author herself was born in 1983, which she says is the exact center point for the Troubles. And I'm gonna link Heidi's review below. Like, this is nature writing, and just gorgeous nature writing, and this idea of being grounded in nature and how that can help you through difficult times in your life. And I'm gonna link you to Heidi's review because it's just excellent, really spot on. And again, I don't have the brain space for that right now. But the thing that I would like to add to Heidi's thoughts are that the author has this great timeline of the Troubles. Like, I, for the last few years, have been curious to read more about the Troubles and really understand it. And when I like to look at a historical time period, one with conflict like this, I like a book that has an abbreviated timeline that's just also grounded in story. And often I find that in graphic novels. I love graphic novels to give me a brief, clip of a framework for the events so that I can ground it, mentally, and, then have that perspective to understand more thoroughly. I think that quick glimpse at the whole arc is just really good for me mentally to understand a situation in time. I'm starting to sweat. So this, it's not a graphic novel. It's, a memoir, a nature writing memoir, but she also interweaves history in here so well. And I feel like I really finally understand the Troubles. I also want to finish watching Dairy Girls. Like, I had the burning desire to finish Dairy Girls as I was reading this, but I'm on a VPN now, and I actually looked it up and started watching it, and it wouldn't let me because of the proxy settings. And thanks to all of you who gave me suggestions. My son said the same thing, that I needed to watch from a VPN anchored in the US. So my VPN's kind of been in and out this week, and I haven't been able to do that, but I'm gonna watch it via Los Angeles. Oh, and then finally I got back on a couple of days ago to the Los Angeles site, and season 2 of Dairy Girls is off of Netflix till August 12th or something. But anyway, I'm on a mission now to finish Dairy Girls. And I did want to interject while I was talking about Book Naturalist that I started Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard yesterday. I've only read the first chapter of this. This was the June pick for Book Naturalist. I really enjoyed chapter 1. I think that some people, this is a hit or miss for them because of the kind of religious and philosophical aspects tied into it. But I just was having deep thoughts. I'm really curious. Again, I'm going to link Heidi's review. I just watched it this morning. And I'm just really curious based on her review. I think there are 3 different sections in this, and I'm curious to see if this maintains my interest. But the main theme that I pulled from chapter 1 was just this idea of taking the time to step out of the world and the busyness that you're in and really see what's going on around you, and mentally to be a part and interact with nature. And I just really like this mental opening of thought processes, because I just felt like, you know, with both of these books, I really felt connected to the author, because to be honest, this is the way that I have walked through the world. I am mesmerized and captivated by nature, but not just the nature itself, but this, what's the word? Not religious or mythic, spiritual. Just this spiritual connection and just the larger thoughts that it brings when I'm out there walking the wild. So stay tuned and definitely check out, it's sunny too, man, I'm squinting. Definitely check out Heidi's reviews of both of these books, because her reviews are just top-notch, excellent, stellar things. And while we're on nature, I also finished Monster of God by David Quammen, the man-eating predator in the jungles of history and the mind. So, you know, I have mentioned David Quammen quite often. He's one of my favorite science/nature writers. And this book focuses on the apex predators. So, and even more specifically, apex predators who are living in a close proximity to man. So Siberian tigers, a group of lions in, I believe, India, crocodiles in Australia, a bear in Romania. So this book interweaves, like, it looks at, you know, the animals themselves and how they're doing as far as their level of endangerment, and a little bit of, you know, how conservation came about. There's politics in here, culture, you know, this connection with man. And, you know, when he talks about of history in the mind, kind of how these apex predators also enter our culture and take on mythological aspects. So super interesting, really interesting book. This one isn't 100% in my interest range. For some reason, I've never been as interested in the big cats. I love cats. Why? This is weird. But apex predators in general have not always been in my interest range. I mean, I love nature, so I love them, but, you know, anyway, good book if that is something you're interested in. And then I just this morning finished The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is, you know, a fantasy. It's kind of middle grade, YA, adult. Like, I'm not sure what age range this is targeting. It's the kind of the fantasy school setting. So it's an orphanage / home / school for magical children. And there's, you know, the magical society run by the non-magicals. I forget the name of that society, but, you know, anyway. And so you have a guy that works for that, you know, government institution. He's sent out to this remote little paradise location to study this particular orphanage, which has like level 4, which is the highest level 4 clearance, like super duper, you know, like one of them is the Antichrist Lucy. Lucy's a pretty cool character. So the little characters, the students are pretty cute. This book, it was good, but like kind of a 3-star good for me, which was a little bit disappointing because I feel like it's really hyped. So I was expecting it to be brilliant, and you know, it probably is for some people. Like there were sentences here and there, like paragraphs that were pretty profound thoughts on society at large, about, you know, accepting diversity of all sorts. And, you know, the little romance between this guy from the government and the man that runs the home was super cute in the end. But I just never really connected with it all that well. Just didn't capture my interest. And I ended up kind of skim reading the last third, which is a sign that it's, you know, not resonating with me. So cute book. And yeah, so that's it. Yay, go me. Check out Heidi's links below, and I'll be back soon-ish. We'll see. I mean, I'll be back, but I can't guarantee how soon. Life is crazy right now, but thanks so much for watching. I'll be back soon-ish. Bye.